Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. It is officially Buck Fama Week. Tennessee has a huge opportunity coming up on Saturday. We got to go to Tuscaloosa. And when I look around the internet, when I look around Twitter, I look around the VolQuest message boards, I look in our very own comment section here on the Talkin VAWLS Network, there doesn't seem to be a lot of confidence. And I start scratching my head and I start saying, man, not this again. You guys know I love the clip from Josh Heupel. I'll play it for you now. Let's see if we can get a little motivation going into this game against Alabama.
Doesn't have to be perfect. Ain't going to be perfect. We go compete for 60 freaking minutes. All right, enjoy the opportunity, enjoy the environment, and then go play our butts off, play for one another, and have a hell of a lot of fun. Everybody got me?
Yes,
all right.
Ain't got to be perfect. Ain't gonna be perfect. We heard Josh Heupel say something similar in the locker room after the win over Arkansas. He said, I told you guys it wasn't going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. But I think Josh Heupel also knows he's got a pretty dang good football team. And they didn't play their best on Saturday, but you came out of there with a win. And I think that's maybe part of it. You look around at some of the negativity, some people saying that we have no chance going to Tuscaloosa and coming out with a win. Why is that? It took overtime. Took overtime to beat Mississippi State on the road. You barely survived to beat Arkansas. You play like that, you're not going to beat Alabama, Boogie. You play like that, you're not going to beat Oklahoma, Boogie. You play like that, we're not going to beat Florida. We're not going to beat Vanderbilt. The list goes on and on and on. We're 9.5-point dogs to Alabama on Saturday. The ESPN FPI, it loves them some Alabama, 72.4%. We've not won in Tuscaloosa since 2003. And you know what? It reminds me. And like I said, I scratch my head. I say, not this again. Are we going to do this again? It reminds me of a year ago, a similar mindset that I saw, right? You come out hot out of the gates in 2024, 69-3 against Chattanooga, 51-10 against NC State, 71-0 against Kent State. You go on the road to Oklahoma, get a huge win, 25-15. It was tough. Heupel went conservative at one point in that game, but it worked out. You found a way to get a win. At that point in time, people are talking about Nico for Heisman. People are talking about national championships. You're undefeated. You got a bye week coming off of that bye week. You got a road game against Arkansas, but we're looking backwards, and we're talking about that Oklahoma win and just how big it was and how Josh Heupel has got this team focused. We're going to go do something special in 2024, but then you lost. You lost to Arkansas. You went from 4-0. Thought you were going to be 5-0. Thought you were going to do something special, but no, you slip up and you lose to Arkansas. And then it starts being, well, we can't play like that and beat Florida. But what did we do? We beat Florida 23-17. We can't play like that and beat Alabama. What did we do? We beat Alabama 24-17. Tennessee just kept winning. And yes, you dropped the game against Georgia, but you still went 10-2. You still had a shot. You still went to the college football playoff. Yeah, you ran up against Ohio State, which was the soon-to-be national champions, the best team in college football a year ago. But I think so many people were too worried, too concerned to not enjoy the ride. And I think it's similar this year. Last year, it was all about the offense. We can't score. We can't. Every single week we were talking about, well, we just got to clean this up. Just clean up the little mistakes. Clean up the drops. Clean up the protection. We just got to dial in the offense and we're going to be something special. But we couldn't. And we saw it all year long. Now it's the defense. We can't stop the run. Miscommunication on the back end. But guess what? It is a fine line between winning and losing, and Josh Heupel said something similar to this after the win over Arkansas. Let's take a listen to the clip.
Margins are small in this league. You're playing like talent every single week. A play here, a play there changes the way the game is played. For us tonight, we made it tougher than it needed to be at times. That's not taking anything away from them in all areas of the game. And then, obviously, when it's a 10-1 penalty differential, you're changing the way the game's played too. So I guess we got to play a lot smarter.
I love the little smart aleck remark about the officiating. Penalties 10-1, but the margins are small in this league, right? A play here, a play there. You slip up and lose to Mississippi State, or you lose to Arkansas. But you could also sell Tennessee being 6-0 right now. Max Gilbert knocks home the field goal. Tennessee beats Georgia. We're probably ranked inside the top 5. The margins of error are small, and you look around the country, and I've talked this to death the last week or so. Florida State beat Alabama early in the year. Alabama goes on to beat Georgia. You remember that? You remember that Florida State game? We're talking about how Alabama's toast. Kalen DeBoer is fired. He's on the hot seat. The dynasty is over. Nick Saban's gone. Kalen DeBoer's garbage. But then Alabama beats Georgia, and now Alabama's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Florida beats Texas, but then Texas goes on to beat Oklahoma. Just look around the SEC this week alone. Georgia was down 10 to Auburn before they fought back to win. Texas A&M and Florida was a one-score game. Florida sucks, right? Right? They're terrible. But wait, they beat Texas, who then beat Oklahoma. Do you understand where we're going here? It is a fine line. The margins are small. So can Tennessee actually beat Alabama? And there's no problem with being concerned. There's no problem with talking about what you're worried about with this football team. We're going to get into it. Can they actually beat Alabama? But first, I need you guys to do the YouTube stuff. Smash the thumbs up below the video, quick, free, and easy. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you click the bell for notifications so you don't miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. Drop the announcement this morning on the Talkin VAWLS morning show. You never know when we're going to drop an announcement. Big time show coming up tomorrow night, Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. I don't know if I like the name Talking Shop with the Pops. The father of David Sanders. David Sanders Sr. is going to be on the show. We're going to talk about David's recruitment. We're going to talk a little ball. We're going to talk about 6 weeks of Tennessee football thus far and what David Sanders Sr. thinks about it. But it's not just David. Moving forward, we are going to have a father of one of the players on every single Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We need you guys to show up, show out, show love. Come hang out tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern time, David Sanders Sr. That's going to be a fun new show we do here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. But let's come talk about this Alabama game. Can Tennessee actually win this game? And again, just rewinding to last year, if you play like you played against Arkansas, you can't beat this team, you can't beat that team. Meanwhile, Tennessee continues to do it. And I've talked the last 48 hours about how the older I get, the more I just want to enjoy the wins. Yeah, Tennessee's not playing perfect. Yeah, Tennessee's playing sloppy at times, but they just keep winning. Good teams find a way to win football games, and I would much rather be sitting here at 5-1 than I would be, I don't know, 4-2, 3-3. Like, we're winning football games. We are 5-1 right now, and we are in control of everything. We are in control. Just win. Now, Tennessee, Alabama, it's a tall task, right? You've not won since 2003, going down to Tuscaloosa. The ESPN FPI, again, loves them some Alabama. I've seen 8.5, 9.5. Tennessee's the underdog in this thing, but when you start to break it down, and me and Foul Ming did this on the morning show. We did it on the morning show early. If you missed it, great live stream. Go back and check it out. But let's react emotionally as an Alabama fan. How does an Alabama fan feel? Again, you lost to Florida State. First game of the year, 31-17. You didn't just lose, you got whipped. And Florida State, by the way, is not that good of a football team either. Do you pack it up? Do you say they're saying at that point they have no confidence that they're going to beat Tennessee? They don't think they're going to go on the road and beat Georgia, but that's what they did. They bounced back against UL Monroe. Who cares? That is what it is. They beat Wisconsin 38-14. Now let's talk about the margins, how small they are. Again, Josh Heupel talked about it. 24-21 over Georgia. Do you think Kalen DeBoer is crying about that, or do you think Kalen DeBoer is glad to get out of a road game against Georgia with a win? They beat Vanderbilt 30-14. They beat Missouri this past weekend 27-24 by a field goal. So again, you look at Tennessee, you had the loss to Georgia, you make a field goal, you're winning that game, you're undefeated. The margins are small. You look at Alabama, they got boat raced by Florida State. They got whipped by Florida State. And then the margins are small. You beat Georgia by a field goal. You beat Missouri by a field goal. I think there is a path to victory here for Tennessee. We like to talk about numbers. We like to look at numbers. We like to talk about how bad Tennessee is against the run, how bad they are against the pass. Guess who else is not very good against the run? Alabama. They're not very good against the run. I think Tennessee has an opportunity to run the football against Alabama. 93rd in the country, 156 yards allowed per game. They're also not very good running the football. A lot of people say football, run the football, play good defense. Can we play good defense against Alabama? I think so. I think there is a path to that success. We talk about struggling against the run. Alabama struggles to run the football, 126 yards a game. They are 101st in the country running the football. Jam Miller, their leading running back, is in concussion protocol, went down late in the Missouri game. He's leading the team with 58 carries, 267 yards, averages only 4.6 yards per carry. Again, 101st in the country at running the football. Ty Simpson leads their team with 2 rushing touchdowns. Guess what else they struggle with? Protecting the quarterback, protecting Ty Simpson. Everybody's talking about Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson for Heisman. Ty Simpson this, Ty Simpson that. You weren't talking about him when Florida State beat you. Alabama is 89th in the country in sacks allowed. What is Tennessee's strength on defense? Getting after the quarterback, 26 sacks. They average 4.3 sacks per game. First in the country in sacks per game. Tyree West with 4. Josh Josephs with 4. Don Bailey, 3.5. Caleb Herring with 3. Watch a little clip of Andy and Ari over at On 3 talking about whoever gets the best quarterback play is going to win this game. You know what my take is? Whoever protects their quarterback is going to win this game. I think Ty Simpson can make plays. I think Joey Aguilar can make plays. Can you protect your quarterback? Can you keep them clean? And I think that plays into Tennessee's favor. Again, Alabama 89th in the country in sacks allowed. Tennessee top of the country in sacks per game. Flip over to the other side of that. Alabama 99th in the country. They average just 1.5 sacks per game. Tennessee top 10 in sacks allowed. Less than 1 sack allowed per game. And one of those came in mop-up duty. One of those came because Joey Aguilar bobbled a snap. That's it. I think you keep Joey Aguilar clean. I think you get after Ty Simpson, and he's been good with the football. He's not forced turnovers. He's not turning the football over. But I think if you get after him, you can force him into making some mistakes. I think this game is very winnable for Tennessee. Just win week in, week out. It doesn't matter if it's by 3 or if it's by 33. We're not playing EA Sports College football. We're not trying to rack up stats. We're just trying to win games, survive, win, and advance. If you win this game, you are in control of your destiny. But if they lose, the season's not over. You still have everything in front of you. I think 10-2 gets you in. We're 5-1 on the front half. Can we go 5-1 or better on the back half? How you feeling about this game? Jump in the comment section. Let's talk about it. As always, smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. Tune in tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. David Sanders Sr. is going to be in the house. Going to be a lot of fun, but that is going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.